So we were sitting in a cafe in San Francisco hours before the rest of the conference was starting. I'm talking about WooConf last year in November. And I was sitting across the table from Becca, a gal that works at Skyverge, a company that you likely know because of all the WooCommerce plugins or extensions that they've created. And so we were talking, and as we were talking, we were going through all sorts of different stuff, catching up, and she mentioned something, and I thought, did I hear that right? Are they going after this space? Well, I left it alone, and then months later, I got an email. And Becca said, hey, I wonder if you want to beta test this plugin that we've been building. And I said, sure, what is it? And she said it again. Memberships. I don't know if you know, but I've written probably 30, 40, maybe 50 articles about memberships and online subscriptions for particular WordPress. And I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. Bring it my way. And so I got to participate along with tons of other great folks in looking at this beta product, a product that launched today. And I got to tell you, right, when I first thought, okay, I'm going to take a look at this code, I thought, well, who knows, right, what we're going to get. Because if you've done membership sites on WooCommerce before, you know that it's kind of a kludge. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it makes you feel like MacGyver. Maybe that's a positive thing. Maybe you like to see what you can do with a paperclip and some bubble gum. But me personally, I want to be able to go in, set up a membership site, and get out. And it never was that easy before. You had to get a free extension, a free plugin, and then a free extension, but then another paid extension, and then you had to start configuring them together, and then you had to spend time in rights management, and you're like, oh, this is a pain. And it was. And now it's not. You see, when I pulled down even that first beta, right? I'm not talking about beta 4. I'm talking about beta 1, the first beta, and I went through it, and I'm like, wow. This has tons of features. Later, I was listening to a podcast. Patrick, who's their product manager, was being interviewed about membership sites, and he was talking about all the stuff they're doing to build and to bring to market a membership plugin or an extension. And I thought, wait a minute, we haven't talked, and I would love to talk to Patrick about this. So I tweeted out publicly like, Patrick, you're doing this, and we haven't even chatted. He's like, oh, it's okay because we read all your posts. And we started looking at all these features and tried to make sure that we delivered the value. And so as I started, even through beta 1, I started looking through this. And then again in 2 and 3 and 4. And you realize, wow, there is a lot in there. For example, I used to use Smart Coupons, which is another WooCommerce extension. Now, Smart Coupons has some performance issues when you start getting into really high utilization and kind of issues with scalability. And yet one of the ways I used it was for membership sites, the ability to create a membership site that was sticky because at the turn of every month, when you rebuild someone, you could also send them out a coupon, right? And all of a sudden, I go into the memberships extension, and they do discounts for members already. And you're like, this is perfect. I don't even need to use the other stuff anymore because this is exactly what I wanted. I want members to be able to get a discount on products that non-members don't get a discount on. How many people have asked that question, right? Can I set up a store and then give some people a different rate, a different price? And you go, well, now you can. I've told you tons of times about drip campaigns, right? The notion that when you're pushing out content to a membership site, you want to restrict their access to certain content over time so they keep coming back. Because nobody wants a member to pay, log in, download everything, and then ask for a refund and walk away with all your content. They support drip. And you go, wow, that's very cool. But then they went one step further. Because the Skyverge folks are smart. And they were talking to the Prospress guys that are doing the subscriptions module, and those guys are smart. And so when you put two groups of smart people together, you're going to start getting some really cool things. They've integrated with their subscriptions. So everything that you could do with subscriptions now ties into membership, which of course is the way you do a membership site, right? You want to start billing monthly, subscriptions takes care of it. You want to protect certain content, memberships takes care of it. You want to give a free trial before you start initiating the price? Well, membership can actually let you determine which content they can see in their free trial. You don't have to give them access to everything. You can give them access to a small portion of the site and say, this is what you get to look at while you're in trial mode. And then once you start paying, we can give you access to the rest, or we can even give you scheduled access to the rest. It is way, way better than it used to be, than the way you used to have to build a membership site on WooCommerce. And I would tell people, look, the two players in that space of building stuff, when you also had a store, right? It was WooCommerce and Exchange for my themes, because people don't just spin up membership sites. They sell t-shirts, they sell posters, they sell books. Those are physical things that need to be shipped. And so you need to have not just the membership side or the courseware side, you also need the commerce side. And to date, there were really two players that did this. And yet, when you went to do that on WooCommerce and you went to do memberships on WooCommerce, it was a lot of trouble. And today, it's not. That trouble's all gone. And you can buy this incredible plugin for less than $200. I think right now it's $149, right? And it used to be that you had to buy a couple plugins plus download some free ones and then configure it. And trust me when I tell you, you would have burned through that $149 just spending your time configuring it. This is maybe one of the easiest and cleanest plugins when it comes to configuration, right? For you to be able to determine exactly what you want to configure, right? Do you want to allow people to sell a membership? Do you want to be able to gift a membership? What kind of content do you want them to be restricted on? Whether or not they're getting discounts on products. The list goes on, but it's super clean and easy to manage and to configure and set up. So the membership plugin itself, it's not 100% yet. There's still room for them to grow. There's still things to do, right? You know, if you want to do the fancy stuff where Google indexes your content, even though it's still protected, that kind of stuff, MemberPress is doing that, and memberships from WooThemes isn't there yet, or from Skyverge isn't there yet. But for most of what you want right now on an e-commerce site with a membership component to it, man, you're going to love this plugin. I'm going to go install it on my site right now. Thanks.